Hello everyone, Nikita here. In this presentation, I am going to discuss organometallic compounds for organic synthesis. Especially, I will focus on organocobalt complexes. So, how the organocobalt complexes can be synthesized and we can utilize them in different application for organic synthesis. The compounds which contain cobalt carbon bond is known as organocobalt complexes. For example, we can say it forms a dicobalt octacarbonyl complex. This is a dicobalt octacarbonyl complex. It can be forms a cyclopentadienyl cobalt complex, that is a sandwich complex, except that it forms a cobalt tetracarbonyl hydride complex. So different type of cobalt complexes where the cobalt formed bond with the carbon, they are considered as a organometallic complexes. Now we will look towards the synthesis method, how we can synthesize these cobalt carbonyl complexes. So first is octacarbonyl dicobalt. This is the dicobalt octacarbonyl compound. We can synthesize this compound by reaction of cobalt complexes where the cobalt has an oxidation state of 2. So the cobalt oxidate can react with the carbon monoxide and hydrogen at high pressure and high temperature, and it can give the cobalt carbonyl complex. This reaction requires a cyanide as a catalyst, cyanide reactant. What cyanide do? Cyanide reacts with the cobalt acetate and forms the hexacyano cobaltate complex that reacts with the carbon monoxide in presence of hydrogen, so it will give the CO2 CO8 complex. Or alternatively, we can treat the cobalt metal with the carbon monoxide at 250 to 300 degrees Celsius in around 200 to 300 atmosphere pressure, so it will also forms a dicobalt octacarbonyl complex. We can synthesize the tetracarbonyl hydridocobalt complex. It can be synthesized using the dicobalt octacarbonyl complex. So first we have to take the dicobalt octacarbonyl complex. It can be reduced with different reducing agent. Usually sodium amalgam can be used. So once the sodium amalgam will use, that will reduce this complex and will form the sodium tetracarbonyl cobalt. That can be protonated and it can form a tetracarbonyl hydridocobalt complex. Or usually this complex is generated in situ in the reaction, inside the reaction. So what we have to do, we have to take the octacarbonyl complex of cobalt and we have to pass the hydrogen. So it will be reduced by the hydrogen and forms the tetracarbonyl complex. Now, how we can synthesize the alkyl cobalt carbonyl complexes? So, this tetracarbonyl cobalt complex, that is cobalt tetracarbonyl hydride, or we can say hydridotetracarbonyl cobalt. This complex will add on the alkene in different manner. Either this hydrogen can goes here and this cobalt carbonyl can goes here on this carbon, then we'll get this type of alkyl cobalt carbonyl complex, or this H ions will goes here and this cobalt carbonyl will attack on this carbon, then we'll get this type of alkyl cobalt carbonyl complexes. Or we can say this anion of cobalt tetracarbonyl can react on the alkyl halide. So what will happen, this will attack on this carbon and X negative will release, so we'll get the alkyl cobalt tetracarbonyl complexes. In a similar fashion, we can use the epoxides which can react with the cobalt tetracarbonyl hydride and the ring opening reaction will take place. This cobalt carbonyl will attack on this carbon, then this bond will open and we'll get this type of alkyl cobalt carbonyl complex. Or inversely, if this cobalt complex will attack on this carbon and this bond will open, then we'll get this type of cobalt carbonyl complexes. So different type of alkyl cobalt carbonyl complexes can be synthesized Once they can attack on the olefins or can react with the alkyl halide. Similarly, they can also attacks on the epoxide and ring cleavage takes place. Now we will look how we can synthesize the acyl cobalt carbonyl complexes. So first reactant is the, if we are starting from the dicobalt octacarbonyl complexes, that can be hydrogenated and reduction with the sodium amalgam can produce a tetracarbonyl species. So this HCOCO4 species contains the 18 electrons. Okay, then how 18 electrons? This cobalt valence electron contains the 9 electrons, one from the hydrogen and 8 electron from the carbon monoxide, because each bond shares the 2 electrons. Here the carbonyl is the 2 electron donor, so here the 18 electron species. So it will release one carbon monoxide and it convert into the 16 electron species tricarbonyl cobalt hydride complex that can attack with the substrate and will provide this complex. The substrate can be anything. Or this tetracarbonyl cobalt hydride can react with the alkyl halide. So what will happen? From here HX will eliminate and alkyl cobalt tetracarbonyl species will form. Once it will form, what can happen? This species has a structure like this. From this carbon monoxide will insert between carbon cobalt bond. So from here alkyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex will convert into the acyl complex. Okay, that is a 16 electron species because the coordination number of cobalt has been decreased again, because carbon monoxide is inserted from cobalt to carbon cobalt bond. So here it is a 16 electron species, and if we again the CO will attach on this cobalt from the outer side, then it will forms again the 18 electron species, because now cobalt has a one more CO carbon monoxide, so it will donate the 2 electrons, so it is a 18 electron species. Usually in the organometallic chemistry 16 electron species is a highly reactive species because it has some vacuum site where some incoming species can attach. So what will happen? This 16 electron acyl cobalt carbonyl complex can react further with different compounds. Here we have taken the example like if the hydrogen will attack on this acyl cobalt carbonyl complexes. So because cobalt has a less coordination number, so what will happen? From here once the hydrogen will come, that will goes to the cobalt and it will convert into the hexa coordinated species. From here once carbon monoxide will supply, then this hydrogen will goes to this carbon and will get this catalyst again, means cobalt tetracarbonyl hydride complex will remove and will get the aldehyde. So from the acyl cobalt carbonyl complex, once we supply the CO and hydrogen, we can get the aldehyde. Except that if we are using this acyl cobalt carbonyl complex and we are supplying CO instead of hydrogen, initially we are supplying the CO, so this CO can attack on this cobalt, so we'll get this acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt species. Now here either alcohol and amide can react on this species. So what will happen? If alcohol will attack, then this is RXH we have taken, either alcohol or amide can attack. So what will happen? This OR group will come here and this HCOCOR will release. So this bond will break and whatever we are taking, suppose we are taking alcohol, so this hydrogen will goes with the tetracarbonyl cobalt anion and this OR group will goes to attack on the carbonyl carbon, so we'll get the ester. Or if here amines are attacking reagent, then from acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex we'll get the amides. So using the different reaction condition, acyl cobalt carbonyl complex can be used to prepare the aldehyde, esters or amides. Cobalt complexes are used to hydroformylate the olefins. They are used in the industries to synthesize the aldehyde from the olefin moiety. So how the process takes place, we will look in the slide, where our active species is the tetracarbonyl cobalt hydride complex. This complex has a 18 electron species. Once to get reactive species, it will release its carbon monoxide and it will convert into the 16 electron species. Now it is more reactive and it can add other incoming other incoming molecule. So this HCOCH3 molecule, once the olefin will come on this catalyst, what will happen? It will form the pi complex. Now this hydrogen will shift to this carbon and this carbon will attach with this cobalt. So it will form the alkyl tricarbonyl cobalt complex. In presence of the carbon monoxide, this carbon monoxide will go to this cobalt. So we'll get this complex where the alkyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex will form. From here, this alkyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex can form the acyl cobalt tetracarbonyl complex. From there, the CO is inserted between carbon's cobalt bond. So here, acyl tricarbonyl cobalt complexes will form because CO has migrated. Okay, so this 18 electron species has converted into the 16 electron species. From here we can say this is the 16 electron species HCOCO3. Once that forms the olefin molecule, here we can say it is also 16 electron species because it has a tetracoordinated species. Once the carbon monoxide will come here, now it is a 18 electron species. But when the CO is again migrating into the carbon cobalt bond, again it is converting into the 16 electron species. So hydrogen will add on, and in this step, once the hydrogen will add on, this is known as the oxidative addition step, because the oxidation state of carbon will increase as well as it is converted into the tetracoordinated to the hexacoordinated species. So in the next step, this incoming hydrogen which is attached on the cobalt, it will shift to the carbonyl carbon and it will release the aldehyde, and simultaneously HCOCO3 species will release from here. Once we will add on the CO, then carbon monoxide, then it can form the tetracarbonyl cobalt hydride complex. So organocobalt complexes are very useful catalyst by which we can add on the aldehydic group on the olefins. Actually, hydroformylation means hydroformyl group will add. That means CHO group will add on the olefin molecule. So cobalt catalyst is a very good catalyst to form these molecules. Now we will see how cobalt complexes are useful to break the epoxide rings. Once the cobalt anion reacts on the epoxides, what will happen? This cobalt complex will attack on this carbon and this ring bond CO bond will cleave. So we'll get this complex where the 2-alkoxy alkyl cobalt carbonyl complex will form. Now once this bond will form, this HCOCO4 will eliminate and we'll get this enolate. This enolate can be protonated again in presence of HCOCO4. So this anion will release and this will form this enol. So enol will tautomerize itself and will form the cyclohexanone species. Or if cobalt anion attacks on a unsymmetrical epoxide, that is like propylene oxide, if we had taking some example, here this epoxide was a symmetrical epoxide. Here we are taking some asymmetrical epoxide, where the propylene oxide when react with the cobalt anion, then what will happen? This cobalt anion can attack from two sides. Either the cobalt carbonyl can attack on this carbon and this CO bond will cleave. So this is the A attack we have shown here. That time the oxygen anion will form at this terminal carbon and we'll get this type of alkyl cobalt carbonyl species. Or instead of that, if cobalt tetracarbonyl anion will attack from this side, so that means this CO bond will break. That is we have shown with the B attack. So this type of alkyl tetracarbonyl cobalt species will form. Now further, how the reaction goes on. In presence of carbon monoxide, what will happen? This CO will attack on the insert between the carbon cobalt bond. So here we'll get this complex as a acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complexes. After that, this is acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex. This is also acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex. In presence of methanol, what will happen? This carbon cobalt bond will break and it will convert into the ester molecule. So it will form this here the ester molecule, and this H plus ion will protonate this oxygen which is having the anion. So here also we'll get this product. Now we'll get the 3-hydroxy esters as a product, but two type of products has formed. So which is the major product? Major product will be that product where the cobalt anion, tetracarbonyl cobalt anion, will attack from the less hindered side. That means once this will attack on from here, from the B side, then this bond will open, so it will form a major product. Coming to the next part, where the allylic alcohol reacts with the octacarbonyl dicobalt in presence of carbon monoxide. So first, if the CO2CO8 will attack here, or HCOCO4 will attack, means the cobalt complexes will attack. So what will happen? This cobalt will goes to here and this hydrogen will be here. So what we'll get this alkyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex. In presence of carbon monoxide, it will form the acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex. Here this CO will insert between this. Here if COCO4 is attached, first step, when the catalyst attacks on the allylic alcohol, in presence of carbon monoxide, it will insert here between the carbon cobalt bond. So we'll get the acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex. From here, what will happen? Ring cyclization can happen by releasing this HCOCO4 again. So we'll get the lactone. Cyclic esters will form from the allylic alcohols. Now we have taken some unsymmetrical allylic alcohol. This was not substituted by, there was a hydrogen. Now we have substituted this carbon with the CH3 group. In this case, when the cobalt carbonyl species comes in presence of carbon monoxide, that will form the acyl tetracarbonyl complex, acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex. So, but the thing is, two type of possibilities are there. One, the acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex will happen here or here. This cobalt can attack here or here. So the two conditions we have shown here and here. In case of this condition, from here HCOCO4 will eliminate and 5-membered cyclic ester, that is lactones, will form. Now in this condition, if HCOCO3 will release here, the 4-membered cyclic ketones will form, that is not stable. So this is not possible in this case. What will happen? This type of acyl tetracarbonyl complexes, this acyl complex will shift to the terminal carbon and rearrangement will happen here. After the rearrangement, now the HCOCO4 will release and will get the 6-membered cyclic esters as a product. So two type of product can be formed. Either the 5-membered cyclic ester or the 6-membered cyclic esters can form by the rearrangement of acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt group from the middle carbon to the terminal carbon. Now we'll see some examples where we have taken the cyclohexene as an initial reactant. In presence of the octacarbonyl dicobalt, it can form a different product depending on the reaction conditions. So if the cobalt complex attack on the olefin, so it can form first pi complex and then the alkyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex will form. After the alkyl tetracarbonyl complex will form in presence of CO and hydrogen, oxidative addition followed by the reductive elimination will add on the CHO group, as we have seen the hydroformylation of olefin. So it is simply olefin which we have substituted. So in presence of that, we will get a H group here and CHO group here. So hydroformylation will occur and we'll get this product. Now instead of CO and hydrogen, if we are taking the CO and amines, so what will happen? From here amide will form, substituted amide will form, and here the hydrogen will attack. If we are taking CO and water molecules, so instead of aldehyde we'll get the acids. So different type of reaction condition can form the different type of product by the similar to the hydroformylation reaction. First the alkyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex will form, then the acyl tetracarbonyl cobalt complex will form. After that hydrogen will add on and oxidative addition reaction step will takes place. Once the oxidative addition steps has taken place, then after that reductive elimination will takes place. From there HCO-CO3 ion will release and will get our product. Now coming to this example where we have taken some structure and the cobalt carbonyl complex. Now here this is a protected structure. It is a glycol and it is a protected. Now here alcohol is present and double bond is present. Is this allylic alcohol? No. So we have to focus on only double bond. If allylic alcohol was there, that time the gamma lactons possibility is there. Now what will happen in presence of the tetracarbonyl cobalt hydrate complex as well as in CO and hydrogen is given. So that means we have to add the hydroformyl group. CO and hydrogen will add the HCHO group. Hydrogen at one place and CHO at one place. So this will gives the terminal aldehyde as a product. Tetracarbonyl cobalt hydryl complex also breaks the oxetane molecule and forms the acyl cobalt tetracarbonyl species in presence of carbon monoxide. So once this oxetane reacts with this HCO-CO4, this bond will breaks and it will form the alkyl tetracarbonyl cobalt species. In presence of carbon monoxide, it will convert it into acyl cobalt tetracarbonyl species. Now it will release the HCO-CO4 and forms a gamma lacton as a major product. So we have seen in this presentation that the organocobalt complexes has a wide utility in industry. They are used to synthesize the different type of aldehydes, acids, amides from the olefins as an initial reactant material, as well as they converts the allylic alcohols into the gamma lactons species. So these catalysts are useful in many ways. Thank you.